Hi, Sam.
Hello. Hello, hello. So,
Come on, honey. Walk in there.
so what is all this?
This is the extension of the original gravel pit. There was originally a gravel pit here. Before we started, when we bought the place, it was small. It was up there. I don't know if you remember it.
Vaguely.
Vaguely.
It was very small.
It was very small, but like a lot of these places, they use the available gravel, and there's a lot of it here for all their roads. And so we used a whole bunch when we built the house, and we built the roads around. We added to it, and now it has expanded. You can see it's quite a hole. And this is going to be our last gravel dig out of it. I'm just trying to stack some up, and it's nice stuff, by the way. It's a little bit, we're running out of the real grainy stuff up here, the real bony stuff. We had a real big chunky bony stuff, but it's sand and smaller than an inch that's left.
So, over the years, you've pulled thousands, maybe tens of thousands of dollars worth of gravel.
Oh, tens, yes, in dollars. I thought you were going to go
If you had to get a dump truck with all the gravel you've gotten out of here.
Oh, yeah, like ridiculous. Mm-hmm. Ridiculous. And all the stuff we put in the woods, the roads in the woods, too, and crossing soft spots. We've taken out a lot. And we are at the tail end of what's really here. But what this is all about is why we took it from up there and we came down here with it, is this is our last, I think it's our last, maybe it's not. It's a wetland we're going to put in here. And this is gravel ground, and it's all sandy and gravelly and water, and it rained a bunch the last 2 days, and that little bit is kind of what I pushed there, but usually it's gone within a day. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't really work for a wetland unless you line it, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to try an experiment in putting down this liner and then putting a few feet of the same soil, a little bit of the hill here. We're going to put that on top of the liner to protect it. And I measured it, I don't remember the number of it, but I think we have about 15,000, maybe 20,000 square feet here, somewhere in that range. And so from the house, we can just look down on this. And it's going to be in 2 basins. This one will be a little bit deeper, little bit of an arm reaching across where water goes through, but that's the western side. That basin will only be a few feet deep, maybe 2 feet deep, the bulk of it. And a lot of it will be less than that. We want the level to go down, the water level in summer, and spring up with emergent vegetation, and then in fall it refloods.
And this is only a few hundred feet from the house. Will that affect what wildlife comes here? Will anything be scared off by being so close to the house?
It might.
It might. We don't know.
Don't know.
Yeah.
You know, I say that, and yet we sit on the porch, and the deer sit right here, and the rabbits, and everything has seemed to gotten used to us. We've watched the fisher come down the trail. We see the coyotes walk right across here, and the red fox. Well, you've seen, they seem to kind of get used to us. So I don't think we're very noisy in the house. Mm-hmm. We don't scare them too much.
Yeah, you only party on the weekends.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Right.
So a question that another landowner might have is how could you know if you have an abundance of gravel like this? Are there any indications other than just digging on random spots in your property?
Well, yeah, ask your neighbor what he's got. Mm-hmm. The Soil Conservation Service mapped, I think almost everything like in the east for sure has been mapped. And you can look at a soils map and you can find out what the underlying soils are. This was all under glacier here. It's a lot of Shenango loam, Shenango gravelly loam. And it's not the same everywhere. There's a little boggy basin right over here where the glacier made a pretty big hole. There's a big one, about 20, 30 acre one over there, and those have just filled in, and they're little bogs now. But this was all just pushed up, pushed in front of, water rushing through, partially moraine, partially just what it shoved, gravel. And so you can look.
You can look. Okay.
You can look. You can look to see what's there, and then dig it. You can always just dig a test hole, and it comes in different layers too. We tried building a pond over there, and we knew we had some gravel, but we felt like we had clay underneath it, and we did hit clay, but it was very thin, and underneath that clay was another layer of sand, and we did not know how thin that we thought we had plenty of clay. Was not the case. It punched out the bottom and it just drained the pond, and that's that one we're going to go back in line. But the next one over where we hit clay, I dug 10 feet of clay. It just kept going. It felt like forever, and that pond is just fine.
So sometimes you just don't know.
You
till
don't.
Get in there. Get in there.
Oops.
Yeah.
What an expensive oops.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it was kind of works out.
Okay. So, and our next stage will be, what are we doing next weekend?
Well, this is, I've got 2 piles here. That's, I called it scrud. It's there's a little bit of clay in there. There's a lot of silt in there. There's some decent topsoil. It's a mixture of everything. And that's what we're going to put over on top of, over at the lot. On top of, first we're going to put down the mulch, the neighbor's horse manure and rotted stuff. We're calling it mulch. We're going to throw that around, and then we'll put a layer of that on top of it and use that. And also that stuff for along the road where we want to build it up and make it nice, but it's all just for enhanced tree growing where there was once a parking lot, basically a sawmill parking lot. We've already ripped it all up, put a subsoiler on there, that super compacted ground that grass will grow, but a tree will not it won't really live there. So we tore it all up, and we're gonna use that. This we're gonna use for the front driveway and for your base for your driveway. This isn't the greatest base, but it'll be fine to build up a few feet, and we'll hit it with something else later on. So I'm just pushing up big piles of it.
Nice.
And then we're gonna come back and we're gonna make this quite a bit bigger still. We're gonna go over on that side, take it out, push it off to the side, and save a lot of those spoils for after we have the liner in to put on top. How's that sound?
Sounds good. Well, we'll revisit next time there's more work done.
All right, awesome.